Hi everyone. Welcome to You Asked, I'm Answering. And I'm not sure if it's number 9 or number 10. I lost track. But I need to put them all in a playlist in case you'd like to find the older ones. Now, I received two very, very good questions about being an estranged parent. And since they're closely related, I thought I would answer them both in this video. And please know that I am not a professional, and I'm just reminding everyone that I'm not a therapist. I'm just offering my own opinions and thoughts based on my own experiences. Hopefully in a helpful way, in an inspiring way, and in a thought-provoking way, because obviously I don't know your personal situations, your goals, or your background. And so with that, I just take your questions and your comments, and I get a sense for where you're coming from, and I just do my best, and hopefully I could offer you something that might be helpful to you. Now, the first one was very touching to me because it brought back a memory of my own childhood, and that was a person was wondering if they should continue sending cards and gifts to their estranged grandchildren. And that's a tough one because I understand your pain and your torment over wanting to keep in contact with them and in wanting to show your love and keep that connection. And what I'd like to do is tell you what happened when I was a child, because I was estranged from my grandfather, from my father's father. I saw him once or twice when I was 6 years old, and I wrote about it in my memoir, I See the Elephant. And I instantly disliked my grandfather without knowing the reasons behind his rage and his abuse towards animals, and also towards my father. And perhaps my father had made the right choice to estrange us. I'm not sure. I'll never know. But I was never given the opportunity to find out on my own what demons my grandfather was struggling with. And I remember every Christmas, I can remember where I'm standing in our living room, because my brothers and I would receive each a card from my grandfather with money every single Christmas, at least for a few years. Now, I was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and I didn't appreciate the money, and I grew to expect it. And every year, I would look on the Christmas tree for that card. Now, this is going to sound really strange, but maybe not so strange to some of you, because my mother would make sure that we wrote a thank you card to my grandfather, and we would mail it. And I would write, "Thank you for the money. Love, Barbara." Well, this is really, really twisted, because my grandfather only lived a few blocks away in the same town. But we would go to the post office to mail the thank you card. And actually, no, we had a mailbox right out front of our house, right in front of our front porch. And my mother would put stamps on our letters, our envelopes, and we would mail our thank you cards to my grandpa. Well, a few years went by, and I don't remember how old I was, but I do remember one Christmas when I looked on our Christmas tree and there were no cards for my brothers and I. There was no money, and it suddenly stopped. And I remember feeling a tremendous sense of disappointment because I wanted the money. And to this day, I don't know why my grandpa stopped sending the money, but I can surmise that he saw little value in sending money when he was prevented from seeing us. And maybe in a way he knew that all we wanted was the money. I don't know. But I was just a kid. I didn't understand what was going on. But I interpreted no longer receiving that money as in he no longer cared about us. Now, I think back and I wonder, what if he'd never sent anything at all? I think I would have never had that expectation to receive money from him, and I would not have been disappointed because I would never have received anything at all. And I'm curious what some of you might think. But I know, and I can tell you that as a child, I didn't appreciate it. I just felt a sense of, I don't know, happiness that I received money without really understanding the message that my grandfather was trying to tell me. And what he was doing was trying to keep a connection to me. But I didn't see that as a child, and I hope that makes sense. Now, I don't know if you choose to send money or gifts to your estranged grandchildren. And I don't know if those gifts or money will even reach them, if the parent might intercept them. And I tell you this because when I was in a custody battle for my daughter, who was at the time 14 years old, I did send her Christmas gifts and various items spontaneously for her. And her father did intercept them and never gave them to her. And obviously, she thought that I had just completely forgot about her, which was probably the intention of my ex-husband. So know that if you send cards, gifts, money, that child may never even receive them. And what you might want to do is open a bank account joint with that child and put the money in there. So when they're 18, you can let them know that that money has been accumulating for them. And that's an option. And I'm not sure about the cards. I'm not sure about the Christmas gifts. But I just wanted to share my own experience, and that I'll never forget that Christmas day when I looked on the tree for those cards that we always received every year from my grandpa, and there were no longer any cards. And I was extremely hurt because I thought my grandpa decided that he didn't care about me anymore. And so if you're going to send cards, I think it's important to never stop, to keep sending them. Or better yet, think about why you're sending them and if they possibly might be being intercepted, because you might never know. And so I just wanted to share my own experience with that. Now, another question was, should you try to reconcile with your estranged adult child? Because isn't reconciling the goal of any broken relationship? Now, that can mean many different things by your goal. Because if your goal is a wish, you need to look at that wish as, is it realistic? Because you're not just dealing with your estranged grandchildren. You're dealing with your estranged adult child who is their parent. And I think you need to weigh your past situation with them and weigh the possibility of reconciling. And if you need or you choose to put yourself in a very vulnerable situation where you've been made disparaged comments before and mistreated, weigh the possibility of that happening again. Because in my case, that possibility is 99.9%. And that's why I am not going to repair something that is broken beyond repair. So I think for each person considering reconciling, ask yourself, what are you reconciling to? What is your goal? Because the person who has decided to estrange themselves from you may not want to change or may not want to reconcile with you. And I think you need to write this all down perhaps and consider the fact of what is your goal. Is your goal to find peace and happiness? And is that possible with your estranged child? And perhaps you need to put yourself first and make yourself happy and at peace with the thought that maybe your estranged child will want to reconcile one day. But I sincerely think that the number one person should be you. And never put yourself in a position where you are accepting less than what you deserve. And that is just my opinion. Now, this one was interesting because this mother, her daughter married someone who apparently is very controlling and dominating. And the minute this daughter married this man, they moved away, and communication has been almost non-existent. So she's asking me, should she continue to reach out, even though she's made it clear, the daughter that is, to not have any contact with her? Now, I'd like to let you know that that was what you said kind of raised an alarm with me, because it may not be the daughter who is making that choice. It may be the husband that's preventing her from being in contact with you. And so don't assume that just because your daughter is not reaching out, maybe she's being manipulated in a way that she's in fear and is not communicating with you because of the influence of her new husband. And I don't know if that is true, but I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility, because it happens every day. And we're not privy to our adult children's private life. We don't know what's going on. But this is another part to that same question, because apparently this daughter is going to be returning to town alone without the husband to attend a wedding. And this parent is asking me, should she reach out? And I can only tell you that if it was me, I would. I would, because just in the few sentences that you wrote, because her behavior changed so drastically after being with this new man and moving away, it does seem to indicate that she's under the influence of this controlling man. And if it were me, yes, I would seize that opportunity to try to talk to her. However, I would not do it in a confrontational manner or a manner that is going to put you in a bad light. And I'll leave that up to you, how you decide to do that. But I would see that opportunity as something that you may not have again for quite some time. And depending on where you might be able to talk to her or how, I would certainly give that some thought. Especially if you think there might be a chance that she does want to talk to you. However, I would like to convey the idea that in the first few minutes, if she adamantly expresses that she wants nothing to do with you, I would respect that and honor her wishes and not continue to try to communicate with her. So what I'm saying is that I would grab that opportunity, but be ready for rejection and remain calm, remain respectful, and know that it can go either way. And so I don't ever want to impose my beliefs or my suggestions as anything anyone should do, because that's not my position and that's not my right. But because I've been through so much with my own daughter, I know that to set yourself up and hope for something that you really, really want to have happen can lead to utter despair and disappointment. So maybe there's a way that you can prepare yourself mentally for that, so that if it doesn't go the way you hoped, you've already prepared yourself to deal with it. And I also would like to add that so often we take things personally and we take rejection personally. But in this case, I wouldn't take it personally, because our adult children are adults. They know what they're doing. They've made their decisions. And if they have negative opinions about us, then so be it. Let them have negative opinions about us. And if they choose not to engage in any attempt to reconcile, then that's their choice too. But please know that you don't deserve to be treated badly. And also, you have the future. You don't know if those grandchildren one day will reach out to you. And in my case, I do not have any interest in that happening, because I fear and I am aware of the possibility that that could go very wrong and be hurtful to me. And at my age, at 70, I'm not going to do that. But you may have a different opinion. You may have a different hope, dream. And so I leave it up to you. But I just want to share my own thoughts on that. And we are all in our own unique situation with our own family members, maybe trying to help or telling you what to do. And I think you can listen, but ultimately the choice is yours, because the consequences will be yours. But again, with the mom, with the daughter coming to town to attend a wedding, I would not, of course, be anywhere to cause a scene or any kind of negativity in the festivities. And I would arrange or try to catch a moment with your daughter away from everyone, so it doesn't embarrass her, doesn't humiliate her, and it doesn't take away from the celebration of this wedding. And that's really important. So with that, I hope I was helpful. I'm just a person who struggled with a lot of things, and I just share what I know, and there's a lot that I don't know. So please let me know if this was helpful and ask me questions. I'd love to talk about this topic more, because I'm very grounded. I'm well past it. And I talk about my past because of what I've learned. And my videos may start being more with myself sitting in front of the fire, because it's getting very cold here in Maine. And I appreciate you all. I love my channel. And again, thank you to all of my subscribers. Gosh, I have 20,200 something, I think. This is just incredible. And I love publishing a video every day. I have so many more ideas to talk about. And I've got to get going writing my books. And I haven't even created my paintings yet. I have all my paint, I have my canvas, and there's not enough time in the day. So thanks so much, everyone. Please feel free to ask me anything. Take care.